was kind of just feeling it out and kind of saying how he was planning on doing the show today.
I will try to do a sports show with that in mind, but the feel is we're going through this the same way anybody else is. It's a personal level. It's also, you do it on a national stage. This isn't just Boston. This is about us. This is about an entire country here. And we'll try to have the appropriate guest on, try to, I guess, just feel this out. And I think that's the best way to go about this. It's not a soapbox moment. It's self-righteous. I mean, we're angry. You know, you're disappointed. You're sad. But through this, even with the terrible tragedy yesterday, the acts of heroism, that's what's amazing.
So Dan mentioned there feeling it out throughout the day and also trying to have the right guests on. And you guys did have Boston.com sports producer Steve Silva on. He shot the video that most of us have seen by now. What did you want to learn from Steve?
For me, I wanted to just know, as we're all, in the journalistic world, how do you juggle your work responsibilities and the sensitivity of families and what you're going to shoot, what you're not going to shoot? It was refreshing to hear that he tried to avoid some very graphic things and pointing the cameras in certain directions so there wouldn't be, I guess, forever documented evidence of things that family members and friends don't need to see about loved ones that got injured or passed.
And then let's talk about, you guys opened up the phone lines, right? And Dan said that was, at the end of the show, he mentioned that he felt that was therapeutic. Almost. Did you guys feel that way?
Yeah, it's always good to get other perspectives and hear from people who are going through the same thing, and everybody has a different relationship to what's happening there, whether it's people who are running the marathon, which, we heard from somebody that was in the marathon and got stopped. That was amazing to me.
Let's talk about that. That was Adam in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I believe that phone call stood out. Dan asked him about the moment he was reunited with his family. They were waiting for him at the finish line. Let's take a look.
Oh my, I can't even tell you. I'm still a little bit choked. I survived a freaking tour in Afghanistan, and then I come back to the Boston Marathon to lose, it's just like, what is going on here? But, it's needless to say, one of the greatest moments of my life.
Adam, thank you. We appreciate your phone call.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for everything that you do, just everything. You're just, that's one of my favorites. Just thank you.
Well, what did you guys think when you hear it? That's powerful. As powerful a phone call
Being reunited with his family
on the show. Paulie?
I got to tell you, give you the inside of how I look at something like that. As it's going on, Dan does a smart thing. He shuts up and lets the guy talk, which is genius. Instead of interjecting and asking it 20 questions, let the guy talk until he finishes his statement. I guarantee he's going to give you something great. But as a producer, I'm sitting there going, where is our out here? We do have to break at a certain time. And so there was a moment where he said, I think right at the end, he said, I served 3 tours in Afghanistan, and I have to come back to the Boston Marathon to see bombs. And I said into Dan's ear, I would get out, and he just gave me a nod. And he knows where an end point is. Even there, you're producing it live, and Dan's producing it live, knowing there's only so much we could do with someone. Less is more. Don't take this guy 20 minutes when he can give you 5 great minutes.
So kind of talking again about that yin and yang where Paulie has to stay focused in that. Are you thinking that way in this moment?
No, absolutely not. I'm almost like another listener. Which I think actually is a role in itself too, because you can't, all of us can't be in on it as a hardcore producer. Some of us have to sort of take it in a different way.
And I think Dan thinks of it that way too, not maybe as much as I do, but it is a performance. We're putting on a show. And if you can end with a great statement, it's like if you write a column, you want your last statement to be fantastic, to leave with a memory. When that guy says that, there's a natural move to say, like, let's go. It can't get any better than that.
It's very easy to get caught up in that, in listening to Adam in Rhode Island and forget about the clock and all the other elements that Paulie and all those have to be cognizant of to keep things running somewhat on time. It just can't go on endlessly. So it's a good thing that Paulie's able to do that, keep that in check while we may get lost in the conversation.
And seeing you're rocking your New York City Marathon shirt there, you've run 2 New York City Marathons. You described them as a celebration and the most positive thing you've ever been involved in.
Right.
And you actually went into the box to share your thoughts a little bit on this tragedy. Let's take a look.
I mean, that area was just filled with moms and dads and brothers and sisters and husbands, wives, children that were all just there supporting their loved one. And to have this happen just feels really terrible. And Boston has a really special place in my heart. It's my favorite city in the world. And my wife is from there. My in-laws still live just outside of Boston in Belmont. And, they're the greatest group of people I've ever met. And I know how proud they are to be from Boston and how proud they are of Boston. And, my heart just breaks for that city and that community. And I'm really looking forward to running the Boston Marathon next year.
So you'll be there next year? You're running that sucker next year?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was watching the news coverage, and all I could think of was, or one of my thoughts was about next year, and thinking, man, it would be so great to run that. And text my wife and said, all right, we better figure out what we're going to do here, because we got to get training. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
We got to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to know what it was like to have an in-studio guest on a day like today.